Welcome to another vocabulary mastery tutorial. Here you'll learn all of Barron's 333 high-frequency words. Whether you're prepping for the IELTS, GRE, job exams, or just looking to boost your word power, you're in the right place. In this series, we'll break down each word, explore its meaning, and practice using them in unique and interesting ways that will help build long-lasting memory. Let's dive in. Here is the outline of the tutorial. I've divided the entire video in 4 parts. In the second part, we will dive into the meaning of the words, while third part is the most important one for long-lasting memory. These are the words we are gonna learn today. Let's go. First up, we have alacrity. Normally, this word means being really eager and willing to do something, like when someone is excited to help out. But sometimes, alacrity just refers to how quickly something is done, even if there's no enthusiasm involved. Next is belligerent. Most of the time, this word describes someone who is aggressively ready to fight or argue. But in legal or formal situations, belligerent can also refer to a country or group that's involved in a war or conflict. Now, let's talk about culpable. This word is often used to describe someone who is to blame for something that went wrong. However, in legal terms, culpable can also mean being legally responsible for something bad that happened, not just morally responsible. Moving on to ephemeral. We usually use this word to describe something that doesn't last long, like a moment that quickly passes. But in biology, ephemeral can also refer to plants or insects that have a very short life cycle. Next up is fractious. This word generally describes someone who is easily irritated and likely to cause trouble. But it can also describe a group or organization that's hard to manage because people inside it don't get along. Then there's insipid. We often use this word to describe something boring or lacking in excitement. But insipid can also literally mean food or drink that doesn't have much flavor. Let's look at loquacious. Usually, this word describes someone who talks a lot, sometimes too much. But in stories or literature, loquacious can be used to describe a character who just can't stop talking, which can add depth to the character. Now, mitigate is a word we use when we want to say we're making something less bad or serious, like calming down a tense situation. But in legal terms, mitigate can also mean reducing the severity of a punishment or consequence. Next, we have pithy. This word usually means saying something important in just a few words, being brief but meaningful. Interestingly, pithy can also refer to the soft part inside plants, though this use is rare. Finally, there's recalcitrant. This word describes someone who is stubborn and refuses to follow rules. But recalcitrant can also describe machines or systems that don't work properly or resist being fixed. Now, the all-important third part of the lesson begins. In this section, we will first take a paragraph on any random topic and then try to rewrite it with the words we have learned today. Okay, let's take a look at the paragraph first. Detailed explanation for each change is coming up next. The world is currently facing numerous challenges that are testing the resilience and patience of nations and individuals alike. Conflicts and tensions are escalating, creating a hostile environment that disrupts global peace. Accountability is often sidestepped, leading to a lack of responsibility for actions that have far-reaching consequences. The issues at hand are fleeting, yet they leave a lasting impact, as societies grapple with divisions and unrest. Many solutions offered lack substance, failing to address the root causes of the problems. Amid this turmoil, communication is abundant, but often lacks depth, as superficial responses dominate discussions. Efforts to reduce the severity of these crises are frequently insufficient, leaving much to be desired. The situation demands concise and effective strategies, yet many approaches are stubbornly resistant to change, exacerbating the difficulties the world faces. This section is important because just memorizing meaning adds almost nothing to your English skill if you can't use them. So, let's dive deeper. Take a look at the first sentence. Let's go through the meaning of each word and see if any of them have a close match with the words we learned today. First, the word currently means now or at present. Think about the words we learned. None of them are similar to currently, right? Feel free to pause and review if needed. Words are given here for your convenience. Next, we have numerous, which means many or great in number. None of our new words match this either. Similarly, challenges means difficulties or obstacles. Patience means the capacity to accept or tolerate delay, problems, or suffering without becoming annoyed or anxious. Individuals refers to each person or human being, and alike means similar or identical. Again, none of these words can be replaced with the ones we learned, but did you notice? The word resilience is about bouncing back from difficulty, showing strength and the ability to recover. When we replace resilience with alacrity, we're talking about being eager and ready to act with a sense of speed and enthusiasm. This shift changes the tone from simply enduring hardships to actively facing challenges with excitement and readiness. It's like saying we're not just surviving. We're ready and quick to respond to whatever comes our way. The goal here is to create meaningful sentences that fit the context of the paragraph. That's what we did with the first sentence. Explaining every sentence in detail could get repetitive, so I'll just share the sentences along with their rewritten versions. Now it's your turn to reflect on these changes and share your thoughts. Moving on to the second sentence. We swapped hostile for belligerent. While both words describe aggression, belligerent is stronger and more intense, like someone who's ready to fight. In the third sentence, we also changed accountability to culpable. Culpable directly points to guilt, making it clear who is at fault. In the next one, fleeting was replaced with ephemeral. While both mean short-lived, ephemeral adds a sense of something beautiful yet temporary, emphasizing a lasting impact, even from brief moments. The word divisions were also replaced by fractious. Both divisions and fractious relate to conflict and discord, highlighting separations that cause trouble or unrest. For the phrase lack substance, we chose the word insipid. This doesn't just mean weak. It also means dull and uninteresting, highlighting how ineffective the solutions are. We then changed abundant communication to loquacious. Loquacious means talking a lot, maybe even too much, showing that there's plenty of talk, but not much depth. Instead of reduce, we use the word mitigate. Mitigate means to lessen the severity, a word often used in serious contexts to show efforts in easing the impact. Lastly, concise became pithy. Pithy means brief, but full of meaning, packing a lot of punch in a few words. We also replaced stubbornly resistant with recalcitrant, which means actively refusing to change. These word choices aren't just about using bigger words. They're about adding clarity, depth, and precision to our sentences, making the message stronger and more impactful. Now, finally, we are into the final part of today's lesson. In this section, I'm providing you with some synonyms and antonyms of the words we learned today. You can go through them and try to practice using them while you speak or write. Thanks for watching. If this helped, hit like and subscribe for more. If you have any query, drop them in the comments See you next time.